Night in Tokyo. An empty alley glows blue-white, and you hear a soft motor hum. A lone vending machine stands like a lighthouse, and with one press drops a hot can of coffee into your hand. It's a tiny moment that explains a lot about Japan. Reliable convenience, anywhere, any hour, and trusted. The story starts long before neon. In the late 19th century, Japanese inventors built simple vending devices for everyday necessities like tobacco, stamps, and postcards. From the beginning, the idea wasn't junk food. It was automation for small, predictable needs in a country that loves precision. Fast forward to the post-war boom and two changes flip the switch. A national love of on-the-go drinks and coins that made exact change impulse buys effortless. By the 1970s, engineers pull off a quintessentially Japanese trick: single cabinets that dispense both hot and cold drinks from the same machine. Winter becomes a pocket heater can of corn soup or lemon honey. Summer becomes ice-cold green tea from the same spot. Seasonality locks in, and vending folds into daily choreography like it's always been there. Why here? Density, economics, and manners align. High foot traffic makes tiny 24/7 retail points make sense. Labor is expensive and the population is aging, so machines fill late night and in-between gaps without staff. Low vandalism and strong social norms protect unattended hardware. For decades, Japan was cash-heavy, so coins and small bills slid through slots with satisfying clicks long before tap to pay. Add a streetscape designed around walking and trains, and you get a country that treats vending as shared infrastructure rather than novelty, placed precisely where it solves a problem. Station exits, hospital corridors, alley corners, shrines, mountain trailheads, even beside rice fields. Morning proves the point. At 6 a.m., station plazas wake to a drumbeat of routines. Office workers grab black coffee or café au lait. Commuters buy unsweetened green tea that tastes like the morning itself. Athletes hit ion drinks before practice. The quiet color code, red labels for hot, blue for cold, does steady work. And in winter, you cradle warm cans like hand warmers. For millions of people, these machines don't replace meals. They stitch them together. A breakfast drink before the gate, a hot soup during a late shift, a chocolate drink before the last train. 5 seconds from decision to sip, then you're moving again. The ecosystem feeds you and keeps streets tidy. Most beverage machines bring their own bottle and can slots with narrow, clearly labeled openings. You finish the drink, drop the empty right there, and move on. Anything that isn't a bottle or can you carry to a proper bin or home, which fits the national habit of sorting waste at the source. The design nudges the behavior, and the behavior keeps the pavement clear. Prices span from everyday to indulgent. At the budget end, you'll see anchors around 70 cents to roughly $1.10 for mainstream teas, coffees, and sodas. Cheap, quick, and everywhere. But the spectrum runs wide now. Side by side with the workhorse cabinet, you'll find glass-fronted freezers vending frozen gyoza or ramen packs to cook at home, hot fried chicken under heat lamps, premium milk from a nearby dairy, and bottles of concentrated dashi for home cooks. Some city corners push limited flavors wrapped in local artwork. Quiet neighborhoods favor unflashy cabinets tuned to what people actually drink. The same format supports every price tier because the real value is placement, reliability, and trust, not just cheapness. Novelty exists, but it's rarely random. Regional machines sell bakery cookies, specialty teas, farm eggs, or cheesecake in jars. A few headline grabbers have tried controversial products to keep fading traditions alive. The pattern underneath is precision. A machine appears exactly where a tiny but real demand exists, then disappears into routine. You start to depend on it without ever discussing it. Behind that routine is a logistics ballet you rarely see. Route drivers move like a postal service for bottles and cans, sanitizing, refilling, swapping seasonal stock, fixing bulky bill validators. They carry little parts kits like surgeons, pop panels off an ailing machine, and bring it back to life in minutes. Modern cabinets hum quietly on efficient LEDs and heat pump systems, dimming their displays overnight while keeping drinks safe. Cash still works, but transit cards and contactless wallets smooth the rush hour crush for people with full hands and fast days. Machines even talk to headquarters now, reporting temperatures, stock levels, and faults, so a van is rolling before anyone notices a gap in the lineup. If you think vending is only an urban story, ask a hiker. You'll meet machines far from any storefront. Country lanes, coastal pull-offs, trailheads where the nearest shop is hours away. During climbing season, you can even encounter machines on Mount Fuji, including near the summit in some years. When the sun is merciless or the wind cuts thin air, a glowing cabinet that trades a tap for water feels like science fiction that also hands you a bottle. That placement explains the affection. Machines are small promises that the day won't strand you. There's history in the cabinet's manner, too. The engineering culture here rewards reliability before flash, so machines last and rarely look like eyesores. In temple districts, they sit back and keep their lights soft. On residential lanes, they tuck beside fences or hedges. You notice them when you need them and forget them when you don't. Even sound design matters. Film a sleeping street at midnight, and your microphone hears the city, not the machine. The hum is background, never the headline. Work culture leans on them in 100 small ways. A cold, unsweetened tea becomes lunch for a salaryman sprinting between buildings. A hot lemon clears a throat before a presentation. A canned coffee pushes a coder over the last hill at 11 p.m. Shift workers treat them like tiny lifelines. Miso soup between patient rounds, a sports drink after a sweltering subway repair, cocoa while guarding a construction site at 2 in the morning. The point isn't replacing restaurants, it's filling micro gaps where a queue would derail a schedule or a shop. Simply doesn't make sense. That's why cabinets live at thresholds, just outside stations, at office tower doors, by school gates, under stadium awnings. They sit where momentum lives. If you're traveling, the fun is in the regional accents. Tea-growing areas stock nuanced sencha or roasted hojicha. Dairy regions push richer coffee milk blends and yogurt drinks. Okinawa leans bright citrus. Hokkaido's corn soup tastes slightly sweeter and heavier, like it knows the winters it's made for. The calendar flows through the rose. Sakura teas and floral sodas in spring. Salty lychee and cold barley tea in heavy humidity. Roasted teas as the heat softens. Spiced milk and cocoa when the wind sharpens. Without saying a word, a cabinet tells you what month it is. Etiquette keeps the system loved. Don't block a machine while you debate. Decide, then step in. Use the attached slots only for bottles and cans, not general trash. Keep voices low on quiet residential nights. If you spill, wipe. There's usually a napkin rack in the kiosk next door or a stack of tissues at the counter. The convenience is a two-way promise. The machine shows up for you, you behave so it can keep showing up for everyone else. There's resilience built in that people remember. After earthquakes or major storms, certain units can be switched to free vend by authorized staff, releasing water and drinks when shops are shut and roads are blocked. Manufacturers plan for it. Operators drill it. Municipalities coordinate it. That's part of why affection for these boxes goes beyond cute flavors and midnight cocoa. In a pinch, they become lifelines. The money side is simple and elegant. Property owners host machines for a rent or revenue share and place them where a few square feet of sidewalk can earn more than a planter box. Beverage companies keep routes tight so restocking is efficient. Cities tolerate the glow because it reduces friction for residents and visitors alike. Copy-pasting this to other countries is harder than it looks without the same mix of safety, foot traffic, land prices, and a culture that treats unattended machines as part of the commons rather than targets. Here, the business math works because manners and density do too. Spend one day traveling by vending machine and you feel the system breathe. At dawn, a hot drink with a red label outside a quiet station, and the city yawns awake around you. Mid-morning in a park, people buy, step aside, and recycle the bottle in the slot beside the cabinet without breaking stride. Lunch hour in a business district, watch the quick sequence, tap, drop, twist, walk, repeated 1,000 times with barely a pause in the crowd. Late afternoon on a country road, a sun-faded cabinet hands a hiker cold barley tea, and the only sound is a cap twisting open. After dark in a back street, a delivery van glides in, restocks, sanitizes, and vanishes, the cabinet bright, quiet, and ready for morning again. The machines are never the destination, but they make every destination easier. It's tempting to call them quirky, but that misses the point. What's remarkable is not that a box sells corn soup or cheesecake at midnight, it's that the box is always where it should be, stocked with what makes sense for that block, that season, that hour. It's a city-scale act of consideration repeated millions of times a day. You feel it in the small things, a hot can warming your gloves in January, a bottle of barley tea saving you on a humid platform in August, an umbrella in a sterile tube appearing on a day the sky changes its mind. Everywhere you go, a low-stakes promise is being kept. End back in that alley. The LEDs dim to a soft pulse, then brighten when someone approaches. A hot bottle thunks into the cradle. A cold tea hisses open for a couple walking home. Laundry sways above, a bicycle ticks as it cools, and you realize why this story is sticky. It's history plus engineering plus manners. From 19th century postcard dispensers to 1970s hot and cold marvels, from work meal fragments to mountaintop saviors, Japan built millions of small promises into its streets, and people built their days around them. When a city works at that granular level, you don't just notice machines. You notice how a place can feel kind in 1,000 tiny ways, one lit rectangle at a time.